Attorneys for Charlie Kirk's accused assassin preparing to ask a Utah judge to tighten an existing gag order, arguing public comments from top leaders like President Trump and Attorney General Pam Bondi are tainting their client's right to a fair trial. Prosecutors argue the request goes too far and could muzzle potential witnesses. And with that, we want to bring in Donna Rotuno, criminal defense attorney and Fox News contributor. Donna, let me just ask you, what's the likelihood that the judge grants this request? I would dismiss it outright. What do you think?
I think it's very unlikely that the judge is going to grant this request. I think it is too overreaching. It is one thing to want to balance making sure that a defendant has a fair trial, which he has a right to do. He has the right to a fair jury pool. But in order to try to silence every single person involved here, I think is too overreaching. And I do not think the judge will grant it. The judge may grant some form of who's allowed to say what, but I don't think that you're going to see that this judge is going to grant the motion as requested.
Yeah, I agree with you, but let me share this and get your reaction. This is Robinson's attorney, and I'm quoting now. It is Mr. Robinson's view that the order should go further to limit the public statements that may be made by federal, state, and local government officials, some of whom are attorneys and some of whom are not, connected with the state federal investigations of the conduct alleged against Mr. Robinson and their agents. Pretty boilerplate stuff. I could certainly see why the argument would be made, but at the same time, I'm just not so sure there's a lot of there. What's the other side of this argument?
Well, the other side of the argument is fairness to the defendant, right? Nobody wants a conviction that then gets overturned. So, of course, that's the issue, right? We want to make sure that there is a fair trial. However, the court only has a jurisdiction that reaches so far. The court doesn't have the legal ability to reach over to every single person that may want to make a comment about this. You and I can say whatever we want about this case in terms of what our opinion is. And I think for the judge to think that he can somehow, how do you enforce silencing the DOJ or silencing the president? It's one thing to say there's certain pieces of evidence that shouldn't be discussed. But in terms of people giving their opinion or discussing this, I mean, we live in a world that has a 24-hour news cycle, and it's going to be talked about whether the court likes it or not, I think.
Yeah, well said. Real quick, I want to get you to weigh in on what could potentially be happening in the circumstance over in Washington, D.C. The alleged shooter has been injured. We don't know whether or not that person's going to make it. If they do, what's the first thing you look to do as an attorney who might be prosecuting a case like this?
Well, obviously, they're going to come at him full bear with every single possible charge that they can come forth with. I mean, this is going to be a throw everything at the wall and see what sticks type of a circumstance. They're not going to leave any stone unturned. They're going to make sure that he is charged with the most serious crimes that would fall under the statutes. And I think that's what we're going to see here.
I think you're right. And I think, again, if this person makes it, probably won't ever see the light of day outside of custody. Thank you, as always, Donna Rotuno. We appreciate that.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.